from me. He should never go against another man. Every man has an equal right to live and be free, no matter what color, pride, or race he may be. That's right. Every man has an equal right to live and be free. Who's up at this time of the morning? 2:20 a.m. Woo! Sharon, Shadea. Money in my pocket. I just can't get no. Anybody know Dennis Brown? Dennis Brown is one another Jamaican singer. And he was one of the revolutionary one, them too, you know. That's right. Oh, I can't see. Wait. Let me see who's on. Now that we found love, what are we gonna do? That's when you find it in your heart, though. But you have to let go all the other things then to feel the love. If you're still holding on to old stuff, you ain't gonna feel it. If you still don't want to face yourself and all these mirrors, you're not gonna feel it. Then not you should, then not you should, then not you should. I haven't been on Facebook in so long. Woo, I haven't been on Facebook in such a long time. You know what I say? But anyway, we're just gonna come on now for a little bit. My son Damon, I'm gonna keep it real. I ask him when is he gonna come on a live with me. All my children, I asked him when are you gonna come on a live with me. I've been on YouTube and Instagram. I haven't been on Facebook in so long because you know what? It had to feel right for me because I'm into vibration. I'm into what feels right. You see? That's right. So anyway, anybody that don't know me, I'm a spiritual empathic reader. I know I've had new followers and subscribers and everything for so long. This is one sister over here. I keep it real. I keep it 100 and transparent. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm just coming on for a little bit and thing, and gonna have my children speak because you know the children's voices, I consider them to be more than children. The young people also should have their voices heard, you know, and how they feel about everything that's going on because they're not the children of tomorrow. They're the children of the now. And me too. Me can't leave out of this neither. Age is just a number. Over the land. So anyway, I have the ability to see certain things that are in the energetic field. What needs to shift. What needs to come forward. What needs to move in consciousness. And one of the messages that I keep hearing from Spirit is that everything that has happened throughout humanity's history to do with suppression, so many different layers of suppression. So we've had suppression when it comes to the feminine. We have suppression when it comes to money, finance, everything else that you can think of. But what most people do not want to touch is the suppression and the mistreatment of our colored people. And so there seems to be a misconception that because things are finally rearing the ugly, is what I call it, because I've been talking it. I said, you know, this is when things rear its ugly head, is the fact that what has happened throughout all of humanity's history is what has kept us down, what has been one of the worst moments in time, where it has been one of the most suppressed categories. And I said that has been females and how females have been treated. You know what I'm saying? But then we also have how it's not even just females, but it's also the colored indigenous people. And most people just don't like to face the things that are uncomfortable. If you're not choosing to face it completely and complete the circle, you're going to keep looping into the same energy over and over again. And so one of the things that's happened is suppressing the voice. So the female feminine has been suppressed. And then those who are colored black, I'm going to refer to color, black, non-color, shades of color, white supremacy, whatever. If you feel that you get triggered by those words, then work through your triggers. Because guess what? I'm not sugarcoat nothing. I might even talk in a patois more. If you don't understand the patois, find one Jamaican for talking, because guess what? The vibration that pulsates through me is moving faster and faster. And planet Earth is speeding up so much more with the ascension. And I'm here to speak the truth. This is my full-time job now. So my soul is going to pulsate to what is to assist and guide for those to transcend through the layers. If you do not speak up, what happens is when that energy is presented in front of you, behind you, they're behind you, in front of you with something. If you don't speak up, what happens is it attaches to that experience that you did not want to look at. And then what happens, it stays and attaches to that physical matter. And then it starts to increase and grow into something else. It either can move into energy of resentment, more anger, more frustration, because you have not released it. And because there's been so much suppression beneath the surface of the earth, the energy of that suppression is right in your solar plexus. If you do not know what your solar plexus is, look it up to see how you connect and what's going on within your solar plexus. Because everything that is pulsating on the earth to do with fire, volcanic activity, all of that stuff has to do with what's suppressed. And so for those in the back and the front, if you have a problem with what's happening now, however it's showing up, riot, looting, this, that is the energy of the ancestors that are alive and well with everything that's happened before. This is cleanup time on Mother Earth. She is pushing out every single energy, every single representation of what has been suppressed within each and every one of us, including the suppression of those who don't want to look at, because it's in your lineage. If you are white or white supremacist, white privilege, whatever it is on that side of the spectrum, to complete the circle by cleaning and healing those wounds and stop ignoring and denying and dishonoring those who are feeling how they are feeling. Let me tell you something. I've had the experience of seeing people in my family that have suppressed themselves, not speaking up, and they end up in the mental institution because they didn't get to speak their feelings and thoughts. And what happens to the body is when you do not express how you feel because you're hanging on to it from a very long time and other lifetimes, it culminates into something else. And if you leave and transition out of your body and you have not healed it, guess what? You're still carrying it with you. You're still representing what you did not release. So imagine all the ancestors, celebrities, every single one of them are reared up now and risen from the dead. Risen in what they have not looked at. They're pulsating through other people that are creating the right. So even the one that were corrupted all the things that they're doing. This is all God's purpose. This is the universal purpose of what must transpire, what must happen, what must be released, what must come out in the open. So if you're still avoiding whatever healing, if you're still avoiding not wanting to look at it, if you think it's going to go away because other things are more important now, it's not. This is not a diversion from running away from the pain of what has happened. So it's imperative to pay attention, to look at what the triggers are, to see what else is missing for you to speak out at the moment that something is appearing in front of you, so it doesn't attach to another timeline, and then that timeline itself stays there. Because every time the opportunity comes for you to heal, to shift, to speak out your voice, to let your voice be heard, to assist someone with their voices to be heard, instead of looking on the sideline, instead of jumping in and being a part of it. Because what happens is these portals are opening up more and more. Every time a portal opens up, it creates that free energy. And so it dismantles the old timeline, the old experience, the attachments to the pain. So for the people in the back that keep on talk about, oh, nobody, no need to look on this no more, shut the fuck up with that shit. Stop telling someone what they shouldn't do and feel. That's why the earth has not been free. That's why the ancestors has not been free. That's why we have not been free. We're not moving into the old thing where you work for somebody and you're enslaved. Some of you don't even see how enslaved you are. You're not looking at it. You're not even looking at the others that you're still enslaving, because you're turning a blind eye and acting like as if you're not to look at this, that it doesn't matter. Well, it does. And that's why the ugly going to keep rearing his head over and over and over again. And the planet and everything that's coming through for interdimensionally and planetary is not going to stop. It's going to increase. It's going to continue. I've even wanted to be out of where things that I need to do during the daytime, because Spirit just has me on and on and on to whatever it is that is supposed to be out there, what's shifting. Okay? So some of you are not going to be able to sleep. You're probably in the bathroom often. You don't even know whether you're coming or going. Okay? Honor the level where you're at. Honor whether you're in the 3D perspective of what you're experiencing. Also remember the bigger picture, that everything must take place. I don't give a flying fuck what the title is with who what. It still has to happen for what's moving to the next stage. And not everyone is going to make it to the next stage, okay? Because another thing that's been a program is that people think that everyone's going to be joining in the same circle with all of this. No, because there are actual people who are soulless, and they're connected as it's like a dark energy that uses people to continue perpetuating their plans. But you see, guess what? It's in a reverse, because it'll go back around, that it's moving in our favor. You see? It's in our favor. Because as soon as anything is hidden, soon as anybody try anything, then the light quotients that's coming through reverses it back again, and they're caught or it's exposed, because the dark matter is in place, not the dark energy. Dark matter is in place to bring light to what is hidden, so that way now it sets that energy free, so we move to the next level and the next stage. That's what it is. Anyway, I know I'll be back on again. I will be on again for the next episode of the Return of the Garden of Eden, which I do host on YouTube. And this is where I'm doing the audiobook for the planet called The Return of the Garden of Eden. It's based on the book, which modern version, the modern energy, the modern speaking of everything that's happened through us and with us for centuries, and has to do also with my twin soul path. I'm also a spiritual empathic reader. I wanted to take this opportunity to have my son Damon to speak his voice, because he also has a voice as well. And my children and I, we troll each other, laugh, joke, everything like that. But we also have conscious conversations, very stimulating conversations and stuff that we want to talk about. And a lot of things that I've told them and sent to them and mentioned to them. Of course, I know we all see things in different see things in different layers. And what I always observe and know is that when we get to another layer, then that is when they say the student appears when the master is ready, and the master appears when the student is ready. And so usually one of the greatest things I say about humans is when you finally go through the experience, that is when you're ready and say, oh, now I know what it feels like. Now I know what it feels like to go through this. I'm ready to talk about it. But in this time with everything that's happening now, there's no waiting till you have the experience and then, oh gosh, let me get involved here. You see, because it goes in layers and layers and layers. And even though I have my identity as Sharon, my son Damon has his identity of who he is. I gave birth to him, but I also carry my genetic information and DNA from my mother and father that's passed on to him, that he has DNA from me and his father. And if we don't look at the healings of all of the lineage and the ancestors on both sides, and to ask yourself, when you make a conscious choice about something, because this is about being conscious now, not walking like the living dead, that when you make a conscious decision, that you're thinking about, when you make that decision, is that coming from you or is that coming from programming from your lineage or something else? You see, that we now move into a place where we allow ourselves to feel how someone feels, even if we don't have the experience, even if we don't understand it, that it's time to research and to go deep into all the things that have been hidden from us, how our colored, Black, indigenous people have been suppressed, and how everything that has been stolen and taken away and misunderstood, that it's time to bring the scale over to the side of where we can understand how we feel, how each person can understand how we feel, and each person allow that person to heal and move in the direction of, will you join me in that healing, or are you going to turn away your face just like the past time? Because this is the timeline of each person making a decision. What can I do differently now than I didn't do before? This is the Gemini, where we see both sides, experience both sides, and try to understand both sides within ourselves and outside of ourselves. Where I was imbalanced on my side is that I didn't speak up, and I turned my blind eye away from not paying attention to it, because I said, oh, we just need to heal with it. But no, just saying you need to heal with something, we have to go into the details. We have to go into the specifics now of where did it come from for us to feel the way that we do, why we feel the way we do. And if it's not serving my highest purpose any longer, then for me to move to the next layer, that means I got to speak up now. And that's the difference. That's the difference. You see? And honoring how we feel. Honoring how we feel, because if each person does not honor that aspect of this deep core wound that exists with the racism and the hatred and the indifference and the dishonoring, you're going to experience what it feels like somehow, because everything that's moving and pulsating with this light, you're going to feel it, because everything's raw and open. That's exactly what's happening. So anyway, I'm going to put my son Damon on, because he got to go to work in a few hours. But I just wanted to get him in because he wants me to take him to get groceries tomorrow. Yeah. Because I know why. Because I know because somebody could. No, because you're not doing it for me. No, nobody with that. Don't even go there. Right, sure. Anyway, so he's going to express and talk about whatever he's been experiencing.
First of all, I want to say I'm thankful and appreciative for my mother, Sharon. I'm her third born son, Damon Green. I don't normally speak out. And stuff,
no, he doesn't.
But
because he wants me to take him to get the groceries tomorrow. No,
yeah. But the past few weeks, actually, over the past few years, a lot of us have been deeply affected by the police brutality, the injustices that's been around, and we feel like our voices haven't been heard. But I feel like now there's there actually might be some change, because it's everywhere. Like our messages is getting out there. My mother's one of the great people who have a powerful voice, a great message, and we all try to influence the world for the better. The last few weeks have saddened me, angered me. I've never been more frustrated in my life. Just want to say rest in peace to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all the, African American Black people that have been, their lives have been stolen, stolen from them too early, just because of the color of their skin. It's not right. And it's a shame that we have to tell them that it's not right. It should be just known. I don't know. But I know that our message is, it'll get through some way, somehow. We've been protesting the same thing for over, hundreds of years. Rodney King 30 years ago, and the same stuff just happens over and over again. But, if we all come together, we all try to, deliver the message, all try to promote that change, we can get it done, And I'm just grateful that I have a mom that knows this. She teaches us these values, and it always inspires me to be a better person every day.
Really?
I try to help.
Why don't you keep your room clean?
I try to help the world, as best as I can, But I'm really appreciative for everyone who listens to her, everyone who subscribes to her, everyone who, voices the same messages we have. Our impact can go as far as we need and we want it to. As far as it has to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does Charlize want to say anything? Yes, Charlize does.
Didn't even know say that.
Charlie's been sitting in the back. She been sitting there. She been listening. Charlie's got something to say. I can't wait till them extraterrestrial beings hit the earth, because we already know everybody's like, I can't wait till this is over. I don't know if most people have realized it's not about to be over. Like, it just started. It's about to be crazy. That's all I have to say. No, that's not all I have to say. I also have to say, what is going on? I can't explain it. It's crazy when you look at it, because I'm a younger person, and when I look at the world from my perspective, I'm like, all I see is ignorant adults who can't even set a good example for the younger generation. Mm-hmm. And then they complain, talking about, oh, look at all these youngsters. Y'all ain't even setting a good example, so don't be a hypocrite. And also, yes, R.I.P. to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, oh my God, Ahmaud. Yeah, and everybody who's been affected by this stupid system. I'm not gonna call it stupid. It's stupid.
Just say it's stupid, because people get,
There's much worse words. Better words to describe it. Not better.
It's corrupted. It's just corrupted. It's a corrupted system.
It's corrupted.
Yep.
It's racist.
Mm-hmm.
It's discriminatory.
Yep. Preferential treatment.
And then people, they want to complain, go like, oh, why are you guys rioting, blah, blah, blah. What did you expect? Bruh, if somebody keeps kicking you in your head, right? This is figurative language. You know what I mean?
Or how about if the shoe was on the other foot?
Somebody kept on slapping me in the face. You think I ain't gonna slap back? Hell yes, I will. I'm not gonna be like, oh, please stop slapping me. Like, no, what is that gonna do? Whatever. I'm done. I'm starting to sweat. That means something.
Heat up in here. Yeah. But I guess we can most honestly say that for the earth to change, what we can't see is where we start from, because it's easy, I know, to look on the outside, on the physical things to what we change, but we still have, we're dealing with energy, we're dealing with like huge spiritual galactic warfare. Like everything is moving through a planetary system that is breaking down the old systematic programming of believing and thinking that it's okay to oppress and suppress someone, that it's okay to treat someone as if they're a piece of shit, you know? And then it's almost like someone who is raped and they're having to face the accuser, and then the accuser tries to turn around and say that person tried to that person brought it on themselves. That's how we feel. Like, and I don't want to hear anybody telling me don't compare rape to this, because that's what's happened to our children too, and our females and our young boys. You know, they've been raped, and it's like it's feeling violated again. Like it's feeling like you're stabbing me in my neck, you're stabbing me in my heart, you're stabbing me in my eyes, and you're acting like we're not supposed to talk about this, and then trying to patronize and say that we're dividing and creating more division. No, you're creating more division, because again, the energy field is, if you do not connect yourself to what had fragmented from the soul, what happens is it doesn't close up and come back into that unity, because you are not looking at the one who has been oppressed, the one who has been victimized, the ones who have gotten away, the ones that have not been able to speak up, and join them. Oh shoot, look at that, the spider come interrupt me again. No, you're not killing the spider. It's a message. No, you're not gonna kill it, because I'm not bringing in the karma from the spider. Listen, you're not killing the spider, but the spider. Spider-Man did that in New York too. Spider-Man. You didn't see the spider?
No, oh my god, bro. Like, what is wrong with you? Clearly murdering.
She want to kill the spider. I'm gonna tell her something over kill the spider. Watch out. The spider have a message. The spider have a right to live too. It's not a stink bug.
See, because it's gonna bite you in your ass, and then you're gonna be eh.
No, seriously, Spider-Man, you never see the video, Spider-Man climb up on the wall in New York. You never see the video? You know, always up on Twitter, you never see that?
She
be my girl! So she said left the spider. If you left the spider, man.
Kill the spider.
No, you don't have to kill the spider. Spider, I make movement with the 8 legs them. You know, see it. That's how that will go on.
If I see that spider in my room,
Shady, so you gonna say the same spider? Oh, you gonna?
I said if I see it in my room.
Mister, I'm gonna spider crawl put your head top in that, you're gonna know. I'm gonna take nest for it.
You also have some on your head, so what do you
No, darling. Me don't sleep like you. If not pay attention to them things, then please.
Not my hair.
I told her she doesn't need a pillow.
What?
I told her she doesn't even need a pillow.
Right?
No, I don't need a pillow.
What a perfect song. The hypocrite them. The people them that act like they're your friends, but they're not sticking up like before, you know. But it's all good though, because I see through all the layers and I see through all them furs, you know. It's all right, because you see, watch out, true words, you know, cause sharp sneeze. So the universal consciousness of what breaks down in the layers is that there are those who are going to see at a different perspective, and those that are going to see at this perspective. And how Source Creator uses us, okay, because Source Creator is using each and every one of us, is that there's always someone that's going to be a little bit in that energy field of being able to see through specific layers until that person reaches to the next level of what they can't see. And then that person allows the person on this side to see what hadn't been seen before, breaks it down, creates that open energy, so that way the next set of group of people that are ready, that move into the next layer of that portal. So like how the full moon is this Friday. Then we're moving into the portal of I think it's the solar eclipse, and then we're moving to the next layer of what comes in with the what do you call it? Summer, what do they call it? Summer solstice, the summer solstice. And each one of those are openings, portals, gateways, walking through an energy, whatever you had to let go of, because eclipse always means something that's leaving. So that's why everything that we're experiencing now is the preparation. So the fires, the rioting, anything. Stop worrying about, you know, when people say, oh, what if it was your place that burned down or what? Listen, everything that has been a foundation on Mother Earth that was created based on thief, stolen, not result, because that's karmic energy. That's the law of physics. What goes around comes around. What you give out comes back. It's in reverse. It's in reverse. It then a reverse, like you don't understand blood clots or an English language. Okay? So I'm going to say it in a patois. Everything in a reverse. We're blood clotting right now. There's no time for play. No hang on things. If you are not able to see the energy, there are pockets of energy of people who have transition that are still stuck on earth, because you know why? Justice was not served. So billions of ancestors are awakened, because that's where the trumpet sounded. George represents the black trumpet, was written in scriptures. The trumpet sounded, and the trumpet of his transition opened a huge portal, bigger than even Kobe Bryant. Okay? And it has to do with the energy of the matter that had to split now, break up what is still not being looked at. What is that big suppression? What has not been addressed? And as it breaks up the fragments, okay, then we put the pieces together to what fragments represent the pain, the suppression. Look at it, deal with it, open the mouth and talk. When you speak, the voice sends out a rippling effect and a vibration that breaks it up and transmutes it into another element. It becomes dust. It turns into something. You gain more power within yourself when you have transmuted that energy and you bring yourself to the next level. When I kept talking about I was feeling Mother Earth like dragon and dragon energy. If you have not watched that video, I recommend for you to watch that video. I even watched it and listen to it 3-4 times. And when I listened to it, I was like, dang, that was me? Oh shit, that shit is powerful. Because there was something moving through like a vacuum, like a, like an engine, like a rocket ship. So when the suppressor says, do not talk, close your mouth, I've had enough. I don't want to lose you because you are my weapon. Because people that suppress other people, that's their weapon. That's their tool to what gives them power. So the suppressor and the oppressor says, don't do that because you're trying to divide us. Don't do that. I'm your friend. Don't do that. That's not being spiritual. Don't do that. You're not being a Christian. Don't see it that way. You're dividing us. See, that's the fuckery and the bullshit that start the perpetuating cycle of suppressing the person. The suppressor creates another illusion now with the rioting and the looting and saying, oh, look at that. Oh, you're not doing anything any better. Oh, you're not honoring George. No, you're honoring George. You know how you're honoring George? You're honoring George. You're honoring the ancestors. And I don't give a fuck who don't like how I'm giving that message, because it's the fucking fact. The fact is that Earth is transmuting and burning through, cleansing. Cleansing comes through water and fire. If something was built on a foundation of hatred, separation, indifference, dominance, rapes, anything, someone died. How many movies are out there where you see that the soul of that being has not been able to move on because their death was not resolved? Why is it that some people can't get it? Can it go off in your heads and your heart? Ding, 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 ding. The ascension means that you look at everything. You feel into it first before you go by the visual. What is showing up here? What is transpiring here? We cannot move into harmonious, sacred union on this earth until every single person looks at their lineage and what has occurred in the past so we can heal it on both sides together. That creates union. And what happens is you create a flow and an abundance of not only peace, but you also acquire freedom. No one can be free if they're still suppressed. No one can feel free if they are still feeling as if they're ignored and something is not looked at. If anyone remembers when I spoke about when my phone had called my beloved and he sounded angry. I felt the anger because that's what happens with twins. You could feel the energy. And I said that the reason why the separation occurs because we're not joining the person in how they feel. I'm not joining myself in how I felt because I kept it hidden inside of me. Oh, I don't want to watch any more of these type of movies. I don't want to see any of these things. Remember Damon, I said, I don't want to watch this because I don't want to go back into feeling angry. But you see, that's the surface. Because when we don't want to look at it and then we see the pictures and every time spirit just have everything just popping up in my face. And I had to go deep into that pain as if that was my child, as if that was my husband, as if that was my friend or anything that means something, because that's what true connection is, that you feel how another person feels and heal through it, not ignore it and try to spice it up and make it look like as if the oppressor or the one who's oppressed is wrong and that we shouldn't feel that way. No, because again, what happens is that it creates another loop into thinking like, oh, wow, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or I'll just go stay in my corner and stay quiet because I just don't want to ruffle any feathers here. And if that person feels so uncomfortable, and that's all it does. That's all it does. I even was going back and listening to my dreams, and I went back into a dream that I recorded because I'm still working through the layers of dreams that I recorded, and I'm looking them specifically to the ones where I'm talking about the galactic force, the galactic center, the black people that represent the galactic center, because that's what the galactic center is. If you don't know that, then research it. If you don't research it, then tune in and you will know. The galactic center is black. So the more you try to run away from the blackness, and the more the blackness are going to show up. And I saw it go. Okay? Blackness does not mean that it's only the color of the skin. Because guess what? I have a friend, she looks Caucasian, but I can't even call her that because she has tapped in to the deep layers of what has occurred, and she understands without me saying anything. You see? And when I went into the dream and listening to it, I was talking about all the things out there that have been put out there by people that depict our culture into changing someone other than who they're not. So when they had the pictures of Nefertiti and they tried to change her into white, I was listening to myself talking about when my son David sent me the thing, and I said, here we go again. It's always something to change something about someone who does not choose to understand our culture, and they try to bury it and they try to cover it up, they try to destroy, and still people do not want to take responsibility for that. You see? So that's the reason why we're taking responsibility for that. Because you see, I'm going to go back to the other side now. We're colored, indigenous, black people. You know who you are. You know, even the ones who grew up with black people, the ones who understand the consciousness of what it means, the consciousness. You see? All the other little dibby fluffy stuff now, blood clot work now. So the more you try to dance around it and ignore it, it doesn't matter, because you know what? The truth does not give a fuck about how you feel. The original people on the planet Earth is black. Mother Earth is black. The roots of the earth is brown black. And that's a fact. Every dream I've had, she comes to me as a black woman. There are other races that have come into the mix of that union space, and even those who are, genderless, you see? But to deny something is to deny myself. To speak out of who I am is not denying of myself and how I relate to myself. You see? So if you are denying the very existence to where you come from, that means there's something for you to look at within yourself as far as your own self-love. Because that's what it boils down to, self-love. Anyone who exhibits hatred towards another person, it reflects back to their own lack of self-love and how they feel about themselves, so that they direct their hatred, they direct all of the excuses, the denials on the other person, and they try to perpetuate the denial into making it look like that they're not doing anything wrong, that it's the other person that's doing it. Don't feed into that nonsense and allow people to dim your light into thinking that whatever you're speaking up about, whatever you know, penetrate that motherfucker. Penetrate it, okay? Penetrate it and penetrate it and penetrate it, because that's what breaks down the walls to all these illusions and how people stay trapped and still want to still allow themselves to remain on the plantation. Because that's what it is. You are still on the plantation of consciousness. So it may not look like a plantation, but they sneak in that motherfucker and make you think like, no, you're in the land of the free. We're making everything great again. But you know what I love about this time frame now is the fact that the ones who are hiding deep down, regardless of the color of their skin, you're getting to see them for who they are. They can't hide anymore. You see, because the light shines through the deception, the knowledge, what's hidden, what you can't see. You can't stop what anybody sees anymore. You can't be you have the mask on anymore. All that mask stuff is gone. It's over. You see? It's over. The one thing me love about myself is when me talk now, you know, we don't talk it from 2 years ago when I listened to the recording when I said that the way to move and to shift through this is speaking up and speaking out with your voice. The voice is a vibration and it's power. It is power that you have that's given to you as a dominion over earth, land, sea. Isn't that what it said in the scripture? I give man dominion over. It's not a physical man will have penis. We're talking about mankind, man, physical being, physical earth. We're in the physical body. What I realized through my ascension process, that when I was in that dragon energy from three weeks ago, and I still am, I said, well, I had to come back down into the physical part of myself. So even though I'm ascended in consciousness with what I gather in the data, I still have to remember I'm in the physical body. And so my physical body processes through the anger, because the anger is a natural state to being. It's a natural process. It's something that moves through the energetic fields that creates a layer of what's coming in that connects to the light of the central sun that is pulling Mother Earth closer. And if the physical body is not prepared with the light body in what it's able to carry and process, then guess what? You cannot survive. You cannot move forward. You cannot move into the other layers of dimensions of the existence of the Christ in who you are. Because if you're not embodying more of that light within you, and it has to do with how you are seeing the layers as well. And so not everyone is going to see the layers that you see. And when they don't, that's it. It splits. It splits. Spirit is going to move you away from that person. Your soul is going to find it repulsive now. You're not going to be able to just linger with them and say, oh, I just want to be friends. And oh, I just got it. Because everything is going to keep coming up against you and pushing you away from the ones who are not equally yoked with you. Okay? You can't fake it anymore. You can't mask it anymore. It's almost like feeling turned off. And if that person is not ready to receive the message and to receive the light because they're not embodying it, it is not your business anymore. It is not your job anymore. It is not. And this is why a lot of, especially our colored folks, feel trapped still, because you want to feel bad, because you want to follow tradition that we must turn the other cheek and, oh, let's go meditate together. Oh, I don't want to lose them. Oh, I need this person. Oh, I can't be independent. oh, I want to make things right. No, make things right with yourself. Speak up for yourself. And if it means that you're going to lose 20 friends, so be it. If everybody in your family don't want to understand, so be it. Because this has to do with you. This is your opportunity now for what you desired to incarnate here on the earth during this ascension time for what comes next. You see, not everyone can see what you see, and it's not for you to have to explain it anymore. That was what I had to get from myself during the past several days and weeks. You see? But it was like, it was rearing its head for me now, because even if I tried to hold back on the anger that I was feeling, it's 1 whole month, you know, me I process anger. Even me try to be my happy self, I dance and all and something, then all of a sudden the anger come back and I said, wow, this is deep. Deep, deep, deep. And I cried. I cried yesterday when I saw LL Cool J crying, because even when he was saying the rap, he was crying because I felt the pain. I felt the pain of the dishonor. I felt the pain, and it's not even one layer of dishonor. It's multiple layers. Multiple layers. You see? But the beautiful thing about how spirit works is that anything that one ignores, it come right back round, right in the face. It come right back round. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. And that's the reason why I know, as far as me, Sharon, concerned, me talk for Sharon, I bulldoze through things, okay? I make things happen because I accept what it is for me to transform and to move to the next level. I don't play. You see? That's me. So me knows that me not responsible for where anyone else chooses to be in their consciousness. That's their choice. And that's the reason why a lot of us had been left behind and lost the love of our lives and all of the blessings and all these things, because we're too busy focusing on trying to have other people join us to come around with us with this blessing. You see? But let me tell you something. What God job blessing on, no man can curse. And I'm not here on Mother Earth to make friends. No. And I'm not making enemies either. If you choose to look at me as an enemy, that's on you. All I know is that I'm here for Mother Earth, and I'm here to enjoy the abundance of what has been promised for me and what I know I'm receiving. See, I get my messages every single day. Every single day. Every single day. That's right, D. We're here to remind people that we chose to be here and witness. Yes, we're here to witness, not only witness the revelation, but reveal break the code to what's being revealed. It's the most exciting thing in the whole world. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Tavon was reminding me that in the book of John, the New Testament, it said that when the second coming of the Christ comes in, it's going to be by fire. It won't be by water. And here it is. Everything is going to be fire, fire, fire. Everything up and down, chant down Babylon. It's no coincidence Bob Marley did put them song there. All of them tell they prophesy and him sing them from the 70s and the 80s. There's a reason, because it's all fulfilled. And so the cycle that perpetuates when people say, oh, we've rioted before, we've did this before. Okay, because the new timeline now that we create is that we work through the layers of what had been ignored, what has not, that justice has not come. And as the cycle itself repeats, we do things differently now, where Black people start waking up and get it that we work together as a community. We build together as a community. We don't tear the sisters down. That means that stop thinking that somebody is trying to take something from you, that we buy and purchase and work together and network and multi-network with businesses together and stuff, like look out for each other. You see what I'm saying? I stop nitpicking and constant focusing on things that's so irrelevant. Like really holding the people power that we have. And don't focus on what someone's going to take from you, because if you focus on that all the time, you're going to create that reality in your existence. You see? Stepping into your true power is the key. We can't worry about if somebody else is not in their power or how they perceive us, because however they want to perceive that's their own fears and that's their own inhibitions that they want to hold on to, that they don't want to let go. And that's something that they have to work on. You see? Because 99.9 times when someone is like a bully or wants to have control over someone, is because of their own fears deep down inside. They're afraid of something. They're afraid of themselves, or they're afraid of something, and they don't want to face their fears. We're not responsible for someone who is like that, but you're responsible for yourself and what you can do to empower yourself. Because empowering yourself means that no one has anything over and above you. You see? And that's the key. That's the key. And it's so much that has been taught that you have to get something from someone and that they're the ones that hold the power over you and so on and so forth. No, honey bunch. Source, God, creator, is who I go to, that I get my directives, how I receive. That's where my power comes from. Not a physical human being. And let me tell you something. That part in the scripture that said, let your enemies be your footstool, that shit motherfucking works too. So all the cops out there that are corrupted and all the ones who are hiding their racist shit within their hearts, guess what? Spirit is using y'all asses to rebuild the earth, to rebuild the colored people anyway. So if you think you're going against us, guess what? You're actually going for us. You see? Whether you're consciously aware of it or not. So always get the bigger picture that Source Creator always has a plan. So if you want to get riled up over it, go right ahead. It's okay to release the riled upness and how you feel inside. But the bigger picture is that Mother Earth is ascending. She's ascending and she's moving and she's moving and she's moving and it's moving and it's increasing and it's increasing. You're going to find yourself feeling like you can't sleep or you sleep too long or you can't go nowhere. You feel like you want to do something else, but then your soul pulls you over in another direction. You want to get plans done. You can't make plans because this is it. This is the time. This is the hoorah, what we've been waiting for a very, very long time. You see? And when we dig deep into the solar plexus and deep into the pain and deep into the trenches, that is what sets us free. And when you activate the dragon fire energy within you, it is going to open up another layer and element of what is creating for you. You see? Because that's what it is. Creation and everything that's coming into your reality, it all comes from within you. It all comes from within you. You see? That's it. And so the difference for me is that I'm not turning a blind eye to this as far as what's happening. Absolutely not. You see, because I know I know the secret is what I say. And it's not even that much of a secret itself, but I know the secret ingredient to what harmony is, together and building. And to build upon something is, are we going to build on the sand or are we going to build on a solid rock? Are you going to build on the old ways and the old foundation of how things have been before? Or are you going to create the new foundation? Because anyone out there that feels that they're creating and, oh, I'm in such abundance and, oh, guess what? If you're still not facing what's happening with colored people, it's going to sink. It's going to sink. And that's it. That's what Spirit showed me. Because you're building yourself on a lie and a deception and feeling that you can turn your head away from not also joining in what has been a disparity in consciousness, in what's been unfair as far as wealth is concerned, what's unfair as far as the homeless people, what's unfair when it comes to children, what's unfair in what's happened in society with people working and working and working and there's no balance there. What's unfair with understanding why people have mental breakdowns. What's unfair is the police system that's corrupted, that you can't even call the police to protect you because there's a system somewhere in Washington, D.C. that supports, and people still want to be pretending and want to give power and say that person is trying to help. Are you kidding me? You're in denial again. You're perpetuating the same energy again. That there's this force and element that always is in the system that's locked in, that tries to label all these different labels to make you get confused and think, oh my God, it's really this one. Oh no, it's really that one. Oh no, it's the same fucking system. Wake up. Wake up. Okay? You're allowing yourself to be controlled and manipulated again. You see? Because what happens is the alien, the element of the division, the real division, and what's the deep in the element of what is just, I don't know. I don't even know what to call anymore. Starts from a host, like a gremlin. And then it passes on to the next one. And then all these different names and stuff come up and all over the place. You see? And then it's like what it does is just causes confusion, because then this one thinks it's against this one and it's against that one. No, it's the same fucking system. It's the same ism, schism, like what Bob Marley talk about. You see? The same thing over and over again. Over and over again. You see? And so to release it once and for all is to finally see it once and for all. See it from a different lens than how it was seen before. How it was seen before. You see? And it has to start from the feeling energy from in your heart, and also the thought process and the gut feeling that you also get within yourself in what feels right. Because you see, the bottom line is spirit is moving things. When I say spirit, I'm talking about the ever-encompassing universal consciousness. Okay? That universal consciousness, because that consciousness itself is alive and it's an intelligence. And that intelligence is what is working through us to what has to break down. And can you see the layers of what has been perpetuating for lifetime after lifetime, and finally shift through it to get to the next aspect of your ascension? You see? Because if you still cannot see clearly, I can see clearly now, you stay stuck and nothing moves forward any longer, because the same parts of itself is exposing everything that is still hidden and what is manipulating, and then it moves into the next host and the next host and the next host. You see? And the only way it stays alive is when someone keeps it alive. You see? But when you move into the next layer of seeing it for what it is, guess what? It's not alive anymore. It starts to disintegrate. You see? Because I know I've read before that there's just some that they're just still not going to get it. And this is where they chose that path. They chose to stay in the heaviness and the darkness. You see? And so what'll happen is they'll just get absorbed by the light. You see? They'll just get absorbed by the light. And there's some who could just choose to get absorbed by the light because they want to just experience the love of God just within themselves individually and lose their identity in the wholesomeness of the Creator. And some of us chose to have the individuation of the self by having the experience on planet Earth and being able to be in sovereignty and still understand the wholesomeness of the universal consciousness, but separating itself from it and understanding that it's still love, but still using the wisdom to know what is the highest and best at that moment and being able to detach from it. Because if you allow yourself to still be a part of a system that's right in front of you, that's a host, then what do you think happens? The system becomes corrupted again. That's what happens. When you yoke yourself with something that's not serving your highest and best, what happens? You start to allow the system to become corrupted. And then you really can't see the forest from the trees. You have a whole different identity, or you're holding on to the same identity you had before, and it's not any different than how it was before. Because you see, this is now where common sense come in. If a system had been in place for so many centuries and the same issues are perpetuating over and over again, isn't that something to think about? That there must be something new. There must be something new, something more to look at, deeper in how we complete that circle and complete the cycle of what has happened towards humanity for centuries. And then if I go before that, it's a galactic thing from before. This was a galactic war that happened from before that's using people to carry out all that confusion, because that's what it is. And we cannot move forward if we do not look at the details of everything. And that's just a fact. You see? It's a fact. It's a fact. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to convey, that message. Speak up and speak out. Every time the opportunity presents itself with anyone to speak up, and you have not done that, it could be anything. the energy starts to attach into a physical matter because it builds up into something, because it's not released the energy and the feeling that's connected to the thoughts. Okay? And so what happens is, as it starts to create in a physical matter, it starts to take effect on you, and that's what creates the heaviness in the body, the heaviness in your heart, the heaviness in your soul. That's what created the density of the body. When you release an energy that's within you, what happens? You feel lighter, you become lighthearted. You're freeing up an energy. It may not free up all at the same time. It may free up in layers because the body can handle but so much, because the body's handling things on a cellular level and a physical level, a mental level, an emotional level. You have a lot of bodies. You have an emotional body, a mental body, etheric body, and your physical body. So everything is moving in layers and layers and layers. And that's why it's important for you to honor yourself. If it means that you have to lose in order to win, that's exactly what Spirit says is happening. Your true best friend and your true buddy and the true essence of where you're being taken is that before you would turn to man for the answers, now is to turn to Source Creator. See? Spirit is reminding me to mention to you that what was written about the 3 days of darkness is coming. This is where the internet's down, phones may be down. It's not, necessarily dark outside, but it's like there's no communication, none. Because Spirit wants you to get used to being with the communication to have with Source Creator and not all the other things outside of you. There's nothing wrong with checking out things and looking at things, but are you coming back to the inner parts of you? Are you connecting to the energy of the all there is, where the information flows through you? Because once you really truly connect to your higher self and the light body starts to activate more and more, all the answers and the information comes through like a speed of light. That's what's happening with me. It's like I'm just getting information coming in left, right, and I'm like, oh my gosh, even some stuff that I thought I'd be able to share, I haven't even caught up to that, because it's coming in and it's coming in and it's coming in, and then it increases and increases, and then what happens is I have to apply what I'm remembering, because it's not new. It has been there before, but now it's open, but then it's a protection around that energy, and then I'm applying it to my physical experiences. You see, that's why we're in the physical body. That's why it's important to honor your feelings, because it's a part of the natural process to who you are. And it's very important to honor yourself. That even if, again, that other person is showing themselves and they're not closing that circle with you, then it may be time to rethink, do I really choose to keep connecting to that person if they're not seeing things with how I feel or how things have been for you all the time? Because that person is showing you the blocks that existed with yourself for what if you didn't speak up, or if that person that's reflecting, mirroring back to you that they're speaking up, but you're triggered by them speaking up, then there's something that you're going to have to look at. Why is it triggering you? If they say a specific word or a name or a title, or it could be anything, because everything's triggering all over the place. I mean, this is one heck of a 2020 is all I can say, and it's just coming on like a train, a bulldozer. I mean, that's it, on and on. So anyway, that's the message that I wanted to leave with you, beautiful souls. I know some of you probably will see this on the replay, and just don't forget who you are, and that you are more powerful than you could ever imagine. This is the time for the queens to awaken to their true power and their true selves. This is the time for you to embody who you are in that light consciousness of what you know. And that anything that you have ever felt as far as feeling disempowered in its fullness, in its entirety, this is the time for you to speak up. Speak up for what is the truth for you. That even if your ancestors have not, they are moving through you and working with you with these energies, with also assisting you to become more empowered. Okay? And that's a fact. Because every time that you awaken another part of yourself that has been dormant, stuck, or hasn't moved as much as you would like it to be, or feeling that freedom energy, or feeling like as if you are feeling disempowered, however it may come in subtly, or feeling like something doesn't feel right, this is your opportunity to open the door, because this is what's ending that patriarchal system into believing that men are better than women, or that white is better than black, you know, or if I'm in a straight relationship, that's better than if someone is in a homosexual relationship. It's all these belief systems that are continuously breaking down. But for all intents and purposes, for those who have an issue with how it's labeled as far as black and white, we have to be able to identify the issues by referring to black and white, okay? Hear ye, hear ye. That's just the way it is right now until you desensitize yourself, okay? If the shoe fits, then you're going to wear it. If it don't fit, then it won't bother you now, will it? No, I reckon not. If you have an issue with anybody who curses, you got to look into why that bothers you too. Look up what curses mean and look up what each curse means, and then you will realize it's not a curse after all, okay? It's your perception of that being a curse. That's all it is. You see, because again, that represents that part of that side of the spectrum that says do not express it in that way, dim it down, be docile, be humble, don't speak. But I tell you that the most humblest souls have also been the most empowered, fire-breathing dragons, okay? With fierceness and boldness. Because as far as I know, when I pushed out 5 of my babies, I wasn't humble. I was screaming my ass off, okay? I was screaming my ass, my vagina, my throat, everything was screaming. It was like, ah! You know, and that's just it. It took energy for me to push through something, to push out the baby. So we're pushing out ourselves. We're pushing out all the stuff that we've allowed to happen, what we have allowed to receive, and swinging it over to that spectrum, so that way those who have divided us will now say, oh shit, now I gotta look at this mirror now. This is uncomfortable. You see? And that's because it pulls it over to the side where the mirror is just blaring out that it has to come to that balance regardless. See? Regardless. So anyway, I just wanted to leave you with those words. So happy to be back on at this time of the morning. You know, the Spirit told me I was going to, have to speak, and so it is, so it is. So I'm pretty sure that there may or may not be triggers and activations, and just know that you play a part in all of this, regardless of what side of the spectrum that you're on, whether you are the oppressor and the oppressed, because if we didn't have the oppressors, then we wouldn't know how much more power we're going to be bringing on back to ourselves. But just because you're the oppressor, or what we call the enemy, or you could be a frenemy too, there's some people that serve both sides, doesn't mean I'm going to hug up on everything with you now. I'll send you love and light, but I know how I'm going to protect myself, okay? And see, that's what I had to learn for myself. Not everyone means you well, you see? And you can send them love at a distance and still hold your own protection in what you need to do for you. But I tell you this, though, it will not always be like this. It will not. At some point, there will be a reality where we honor each other. We won't have to close the doors. We won't have to be looking behind our shoulders to see if someone's trying to steal from us or invade our properties. We won't have to think of someone trying to think of how they're going to seduce our partners or anything like that. No. We won't have to think about trying to take more from someone that we don't need to, or to try to create any type of deceptive energy and activity, to get what we want. That we're able to be authentic and real with one another, and that we allow another soul to be authentic and real for themselves, and honoring them too. And that we're able to set boundaries and still be in our power. We're able to be in our power and be humble at the same time. See? That's the key. Anyway, I send you lots of love. I'll be back again. I don't know which platform, but all I know is that I am very much into love, and I'm very much into what comes together. If anyone would like to have a personal session with me, please feel free to contact me on my either my website, www.thereturnofthegardenofeden.com, or an email at thegardenofeden1111@gmail.com. I will be tuning in again to have the show either Friday, might be either Friday or Monday of next week, because with everything happening now, I'm processing energy at the same time, receiving downloads at the same time, healing at the same time, getting messages out at the same time. It's a lot of multitasking. This is like a full-time job for me. So, but in all things, I give Jah thanks, and I'm in gratitude for those who are open to receive, because when we're open to receive, that is what brings in the blessings. But if you're closed off and closed-minded, then I don't know what else to say, So receptivity is feminine. And when we're in the energy, again, of receiving, it opens up something more. It peels also more layers back from that programming, because that's the reason why people have thought that getting something from someone who's oppressing you, that they're the ones that is the main breadwinner for you, or that you have to be a part of their system or their ideologies, that they're taking care of you, or they have something to give to you that you can't get from anywhere else. But that means that you're giving them the power to believe that they are your source, you see. But when you shift the thought and the consciousness that you are the source through source creator that created you, that by the word of mouth, by the word of your mouth, by the meditation of your heart is how you receive the abundance, because you know your true divinity. You know that your DNA blueprint is royalty, that no one else gives to you but God, source creator. And so it is. I love you. Peace and blessings.